second video. I'm going to try and do this all in one take because, well, it's been a while since my last video. I tried to record one about 3 weeks ago before I went on holidays. I was going to a music festival, 7-day music festival in Budapest called Ziget, and Vienna for 4 days after the festival. Budapest, it's in Budapest in Hungary. It was my 5th year going to it. Of the other 4 years, I'd say 3 of them I spent the entire week of the festival completely drunk. 1 year I was in Trailing and I only went to the festival for 2 days. When I went to the festival for 2 days, the first day I did try not to drink. I was really depressed at the time. First day I didn't drink, felt horrible, didn't meet up, couldn't find any of my friends. Second day I met my friends and just still felt uncomfortable, so I ended up giving in and going drinking. The main notion of my last video before I went on holidays was supposed to be about me not drinking and going to the festival. I think the Saturday before my flight I got really excited about going back to the festival, but then the Sunday, I flew out on the Monday, but the Sunday I started getting really paranoid and anxious and stuff, and it was like, I made about 10 recordings of videos. I made a lot of attempts to record a video saying how I felt about before going on the holiday. I got there, the first night I got there, we arrived into the festival at about 8 o'clock, and instantly I was just like, just thank God I'm back at Ziget. Like the festival itself sounds kind of stupid, but it means an awful lot more to me than just the festival. It's just so much fun I've had there over the years. It's beautiful foreign women, friendly foreign men. It's just everyone's such a good mood there. You don't come across any arguments or fights or anything, or even people you might class as dickheads. Like, it's just everyone's just there to have a good time, and that's what it was like. My first night I only had 2 Red Bulls and a coffee, and I was booming. I was going around talking to myself, just so happy. I was pretty close to having as much fun as I ever had there sober. But then the second day after, like, I got a hostel. Normally I would have camped at the festival, but my second day there, I was after drinking fizzy drinks and coffees and stuff. My stomach wasn't in great shape, and I found it hard to get into the crack. Like in Ireland, I can go out and I've gotten to the stage now where I know I'll get better, but like, just so used to not drinking and going out that I've gone to a stage where I actually enjoy nights out, sober. But I gave in on the second day. I ended up drinking for 3 days, which I didn't overly enjoy, to be honest. A couple of hours. I think of the 3 days, I didn't felt uneasy about it, and drinking was a big thing for me to do. But at the same time, the main reason it was for energy, because I came in, even like the 3rd day that I wasn't drinking, or that I was drinking, I came in with the intention of not drinking that day, and I was thinking, well, I'm really hungover. I'm not going to be having that much fun being hungover, so I may as well. But then after that, 2 days of kind of horrors, you might be familiar with the term, is kind of you just get really anxious and stuff, and the fear. I nearly had a panic attack one day. So it's my first day not drinking, that I was walking around the festival till about 6 in the morning, and then I started feeling really weak, and I was like, okay, I'm just gonna head back. And then the festival was on an island, and I was coming across the bridge, and I was very close to having a panic attack, going across the bridge. But I didn't drink after that for the whole holiday. It was a 2-week holiday. I didn't drink, and I don't think I will drink again. I'd imagine if I was fitter, that I'd be able to keep going more sober, and if I was a little bit better at picking up women, not just to be an be all end all, or that just it's nice to make a connection with someone when you're abroad. Everyone knows that kind of. Everyone's partial to a bit of a holiday romance. But in saying that, I'd say I maybe got with like 5 girls. Only 2 of them was when I was drinking. So I think it's just a thing about having a bit more confidence in myself. That's why I think it's kind of, you always get that good buzz after coming back from a holiday. And I think a little bit more of this has stayed with me now. Well, even before I went on the holiday, it was more and more drilled, just by experience, that it was more and more drilled into my head about staying in the moment. And like even now, I would consider myself recovered from depression since March. But one of my pitfalls, and it was a lot worse in the past, that everybody gets it. It's just the thing, every now and again just being depressed for no reason whatsoever. But for me, when I get that feeling, and I talk about with friends, and everyone said they say is like, people don't say it, but everybody does from time to time. And not like it's a clinical depression or something you need to take antidepressants for, but everybody gets depressed from time to time. I think coming through it, and if you've been like chronically depressed, like for months on end, that if you start you start seeing a bit of the light and things are going well for you, that if you get a couple of days of feeling shaky or whatever, that you think, oh fuck, it's back again. And even with one of my friends, that's how he viewed it probably was for me. I came to that conclusion myself a long time ago. But it was just been more and more drilled home, and even times when you don't feel, you don't feel comfortable, or, just stick to the moment as best you possibly can. I'm just saying this from my own experiences, that, and you might feel like you could just be you and one of your friends, and like I forget sometimes to hang around like trying to say something funny, or trying to have the crack a bit too much when you don't need to. It's okay not to talk sometimes, and just to be quiet and react to what your friend says or thing. But just like I find for me is so, the idea of staying in the moment is so powerful. I kind of thing that I bring around my head if something bad happens, or not something bad happens, if I'm feeling like shit, that there's literally nothing more powerful than the moment you're in. I'm working on a comic over the last few months, on and off. But I found just before I went on my holiday that I was giving myself a really hard time about not working on it. And I'd wake up, and I think a lot of people write this anyway, but just your days off, all week you're waiting for your days off, and your days off you stay in bed. Like me, I can get very lazy and stay in bed like 3 or 4 in the day some days. Go downstairs and make a cup of tea, smoke a few cigarettes, be trapped on Facebook for a couple of hours. But even there, the last day I was doing the same kind of thing. Well, say after my actual holidays abroad, I had a week off and I was just down home, and I didn't do anything for 4 days. Well, a few things, but like even when I was around the house, I didn't get down to do any drawing. I didn't even watch shows, do stuff that I enjoyed. I was just kind of in this suspended animation where it was just drinking cups of tea, smoking cigarettes, and being on Facebook. And you're not getting anything done, and at the end of the day you just feel like, geez, I really wasted that day. And my first day back up here, I live in Galway, that I called around to a friend's house, but I went out with friends, but I didn't really see that as wasting the day, because I had a good night. And the next day I called up to my friend's house again. I think one thing I was doing when I was working on the comic mode, my comic book mode, that I called around to my friend's house for like 5 minutes, have a cup of tea and go again, which can be good, but I think on days when you're feeling a bit groggy, not feeling the best or 100% happy, sometimes it is really nice just to spend, to properly visit with your friends when you call around. And even if, to kind of let the nagging, say for me, the nagging feelings of working on the comic book, let's let them go and just call around to your friend's house and, watch a film, even just watch TV and talk shite for a couple of hours. Because it relaxes you, and like